this is episode 3, and this is basically a spiritual discussion forum for. At first, I started as Black Sheep of the Family, but a lot of us fall in that category of different ones. This is a unique situation here where there's a mom and 2 daughters. So you have 3 in one family that know what time it is. That's like rare. So I'm excited that we'll get a chance to talk and hear everybody's insights and, where you've been, where you're going, where you're from. And so first, MJ is going to have the floor and she's going to talk about her awakening. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So, I was in the Jehovah's Witness religion. So I got out a while ago. And so I started questioning, well, I no longer believe in religion. And I also don't really believe in the Bible anymore. But I still felt like I want to connect spiritually, that I still feel like there's, the universe or a creator or someone still at a higher power, or like I said, or the universe, and we all connected. But so I just kind of wanted to get in touch with that, my spiritual side, my spirituality. And so after, I started doing things that I wanted to do once I got out the religion. Like I wanted to get into real estate, so I did that, and I bought a house and I renovated and got a tenant. So after that, I'm like, so now what? So I said, well, I'm going to let the universe speak to me. I'm going to sit still and let the universe speak to me. So what ended up happening was I went to, Nia invited me to a woman's retreat. So I said I was going to be open to that and go. It was something I never did before, and I wasn't for sure, but man, when I got there and just being around these spiritual people, I mean, they weren't really into religion, but you can just tell that they were connected to a higher power, that they were in tune with themselves and nature. And it was just a beautiful experience. So there was a lady there, spiritual leader. And so she got us to talking about ancestors, just talking about the spirit, just moving. And then they were asking us questions. I got emotional. I was just feeling things. I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? So one thing that I found interesting was 2 women there. They were very just spiritual minded, but they were talking about how they go to the river and bless the water. I never heard of that. I'm like, you do what? So they were just talking about that. Like women from all over the world, like, that's just what they do. They go every Sunday and they go and say prayer and bless the water. So we did actually get to go in and see that. So that was interesting. But just being there with those women and being around a campfire and just really having that connection. I even got my first card reading. I never done that before. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, so that just, and they were just saying the right things and just talking, and they were just like, just even knowing things about me, about my personality, and it was just good just being around them. So that started my spiritual awakening. And I've been reading books and just trying to, be more in tune with myself, because it was just talking about getting to know yourself deeper and just seeing how everything connects and how the universe. So I've been reading this book. Oh yeah, let me tell you when I first started meditating too, because they was talking about that meditation. So when I first started meditating, it was bad. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't figure it out for nothing. I was trying to sit still, breathe, and do all that stuff. My mind was just gone. So I said, well, I'm gonna do a guided meditation. So I did that. And so it was funny because when I started moving, he would say, stop moving. I was like, oh, like he was speaking to me like he really knew I was moving. So I finally got that down with the guided meditation, where I was able to sit still, quiet my thoughts. But what really has helped me with meditation is I started reading this book titled Writing Down Your Soul. So it's just another form of meditation. So when I'm writing, I have earplugs on. I'm listening to meditation music. I have my crystals and candles, and she's just saying embrace all your senses. So I have tea, I'm drinking, so I'm embracing everything, and just writing, just writing outside questions. It's just helping you to go deeper and learn yourself. And she just say you're speaking to you might say God or universe. I say universe. And that's another thing I have a hard problem now saying, because, we were brought up to say Jehovah. Now I can't even say it. Like if I say it, I'm like, I don't really
You
know
saw
if
my
I believe
eyes,
that.
right? I was like,
So I'm still working on it. What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said, you saw my eyes when you said
So
that.
yeah.
I can't hardly say
Yeah.
that.
Right. So yeah. So then I'm just like, well, I'm speaking to the universe. And so, just talking and just being in tune and being grounded. I'm learning about being grounded and energy and things like that. So it said being one in nature, going for a walk. And I was doing that, going for a walk every day. And and I feel like when I'm walking that, I hear the universe, I'm smiling at the sun. I'm, sitting by the water. And, it just really touches me. So I just think since then and being open to it, open to this experience has really helped me. Because, before we wouldn't even be talking about crystals and meditation and the spirit and the energy and all that,
Times have changed.
So it's just a lot of things since I've been out. And it's just think about how we were just surviving. We were just surviving. We were just existing. We wasn't living. So I think with my father dying too, really put things in perspective for me because, when you're a witness, I'm be honest, I had a fear of dying. It scared the mess out of me about dying. Wow. But when my dad died, the reality, I guess with being a witness, because, they tell you that you would never die. So all I kept saying is, I'm not going to die. I'm going to be in a new system. I am not going to die. But, we know people dying, So
New sister was supposed to come before I started kindergarten.
Right, exactly. So with my dad dying, it's just the reality. We all gonna die. That's just reality. We all are going to die. That's just the way it is. So just thinking about that and just really helping me see that I need to be living my life. Not, it's time to live. Do all the things I didn't get to do, embrace it. And, that is my goal now, is just to live my life and stay on the spiritual journey and listen to the universe. So it's just crazy. And I just think about that. I don't feel sad about death. I'm just saying I'm not afraid of it. I know it's going to happen. And that's why we need to learn our purpose, walk in our purpose, and just live our life. Just, be happy, do what we got to do to make ourselves happy. And that's one other thing I'm trying to learn what my purpose is, and, I love being creative. I love, doing that. So I'm just trying to really tune into my passion and to really live my life and, stay grounded, be connected with the universe. And it has helped me having my daughters because we all just coming in our own, and it's just beautiful how we can get together and talk and just think of where we were and where we are now. It's just a big difference. And we all are happy with our lives, and living. So yeah, it's been truly great. I really like this. It's not judgmental, with religion, you always judging and you gotta watch everything you say and do. And no, I don't want to do that no more. I just want to live. Just
not natural.
Be happy and live my life.
It's not natural.
Not natural at all.
It's not natural to judge and to critique and to this and that. It's like it's not. And then naturally do that, something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Something is wrong. It's just amazing what you said, but how all of us, we're in one way, how we all end up on the same page, listening to the universe, the one song. So not everybody gets to be a part of that, but it's amazing that us four ended up.
Right.
Well, just think about the vibes the whole time when we were together. Anytime we all got together, the vibes was different. The hangout was supposed to be 2 hours long and it to be like 7 hours long. Every time.
Yes.
And it didn't matter how old we were. It didn't matter. If it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it didn't matter. And it didn't matter what stage we were in. And it doesn't matter that I'm a mom, you a mom, you was a daughter, you was a daughter. It didn't matter.
Right. I'm laid across the floor while y'all were playing video games.
Right? Exactly. It's like, I be doing your hair, and she in your arms, Nia in your arms.
Right.
It just didn't matter. So what you said, coming into this and that we're all on it and then we all get to reconnect. That's by divine timing. That's not just by chance, because not at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, Nia was talking about, go get crystals. I'm like, crystals? I ain't doing that, but I have some.
Now look at us.
I know.
Right. And meditating and doing
like,
yoga
what?
and all of that.
Right. I have moon manifestation cards.
Yeah, because I was listening to you and it's like tears was coming to my eyes. I was like, she's saying all the exact stuff, all the stuff that I know and all my, people know. Because I was talking to my one girlfriend in St. Louis today, and I told her I was watching this brother's video, and I got like a few people that I'll watch and I'll catch up on. And he started his new video with a rap song, and I was like, "Oh, it's a rap song." I was like, "Wait, that's him. Wait a minute, he can rap." And I was like, "I just saw another brother, and I just saw another," and I said, "Wait a minute, we all the same. How are we all coming together and we all have the same talents, the same desires, the same da-da-da-da-da, and it's natural. Nobody forced us like religion. Nobody made us. Nobody asked us. Right. We're like those noble gases. We are like coming together and we all are the same. Like,
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, we're
really
all the same.
Yeah.
So like, I'm amazed, but and I know it since Nia got you started. Nia, you can tell us your story and what got you into it, and made you bold enough, brave enough to reach out to your mama, your sister, and all that. Because sometimes, like when we try to reach out to our family about something new and different, they be like, "Oh, excuse me." And you the youngest, like two of that. So
right.
I think I was already used to being that person that was looked at like I was crazy. I was always the eyeball. I was always the black sheep. So it's like, I'm fortunate and blessed to have been born to the family that I have been born into, because y'all still love me. It's not like just because I was different, y'all was just like, send her somewhere. It wasn't like that,
I might have a couple times I felt like you should just a couple times.
Drop her off, but I'm
energy though. So yeah, that's natural for a sister. But like mom, like you always allow me to be myself. So I was always able to, really look at my gifts and look at who I am and really embrace who I am. I've been spiritual my whole life. Like I put the religion to what I already knew when I was born, because that was what I was being taught. But I always had a connection with a higher power, with spirit, with my ancestors, and I was born with knowledge of my prior life. So, I didn't understand that was my prior life. I didn't know what it was, but I'm like, who is this girl I keep dreaming about? Like, I would have the same dream, and it would be reoccurring, or it would kind of, it would keep going from where it was last time. And I was young, like really young. I can't even tell you how old I was because it was forever ago.
It makes so much sense. It makes sense because of your age. You're supposed to be. You're that child. Let's see. What are you? A crystal child? Rainbow child? Which one are you? Indigo?
Well, I've got a lot of different names. Flower child, star baby.
It makes sense. You're that younger generation that is more connected, that comes for that reason. And like, wow, just to hear that is like, wow, like, yeah, you're like a living example of that.
Yeah, definitely. But it's still, even with the religion, it still made you make yourself small. So it made you kind of delete that part of yourself. So like now as an adult, like as an adult, now I have to get back to that. Now I have to relearn the knowledge and the connections that I had that I was born with. So it's, and my experience with actually coming back into my spirituality came through trauma. So, but it was still like I was always being guided at the same time, because I started doing yoga before I ever experienced that trauma. So it was like I was given the gifts that I was going to need to heal myself before even experiencing the trauma. So I feel like I've always been guided, and I've always been this go-getter, this ambitious person, this, somebody that other people just really didn't understand. And I've always like, man, why am I always the youngest person? Like I'm always the baby in every room. But I still always come and I give so much knowledge. And I don't even really feel like it's my knowledge. I feel like I just am able to channel the knowledge that I need. I always know what I need to know. And, it kind of, even like through school and stuff, I didn't study. I didn't do any of that because I was still making good grades without doing it. So even looking back at that, before I even knew that I was channeling knowledge, I thought I was just a good guesser. Like I'm like, oh, it's multiple choice. I ain't studying nothing. But I was just able to channel what I needed to know. So now, it's always a journey. It is always a journey, and especially in this place that I am now, I'm in a place of like uncertainty. I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm going. I just know that everything is not for me. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't see myself being somewhere where I'm unfulfilled. So if I can't really come into a space and be myself and find fulfillment in what I'm doing, I can't do something just for the money. It doesn't work for me. And I have to always assess my mental health, because when I'm not doing things that really make me happy, my mental health declines rapidly. So I really have to make sure that I love what I'm doing, where I am, and I'm fortunate and I'm glad that I've been given tools with my yoga, with my sound healing, even my voice. And I've been given the power of manifestation. I am a master manifester. Anything that I say that I want or that I'm going to get, I get.
That's right.
And
you gotta watch what you ask for sometimes. It's like, wait a minute, why is this? It's like you did ask for that. It's like, oh, that's not really what I meant.
Yes. And even
See, that's what I'm trying to
way.
understand.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to understand how to manifest stuff and and things like that. I'm trying to learn.
It's on the way.
Yeah, it's definitely on the way. And I would say that it's mainly just speaking and believing. And then you gotta also look at your chart and
I was gonna say no. God, we all saying at the same time. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely, yeah.
So I just find it interesting what you said about would you say knowing your when you were younger you knew about your past life. That's just something, that's interesting. I've never, seen or felt that, but I just find it interesting how you know.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I just really started to know. So I just finished a 200-hour YTT, a yoga teacher training with my guru. She's from India. So she practices Hinduism, which is really a way of life, and it's not a religion. So you can be any type of person. You can come in and believe whatever you want to believe, and you can still come worship in these same temples as everybody else. It's a very non-judgmental. It's the term that she used, she said, they look at it as 33 million ways to get to God. It's not just one way. Everybody's way is correct because everybody is different. So everybody has their own path. Right. But when you look at, like we watch documentaries and stuff, and there were a lot of people who they knew who they were in their past life. And you look at these experiences of people who died traumatic deaths, and they wake up in their new life and they have a big birthmark. Like say they were stabbed right here. They'll have a big birthmark wherever it was that caused their death in the previous life. And then they'll come back and they'll find the family that they belonged to in their previous life and be able to share those stories. And the other family is like, oh, you are my child. Even though now you are born into this new family, that is still your family too, but we're your family. And they know how to just embrace that, not be like, that's my kid, you need to back off,
Right.
They embrace that. Yeah. So it's just, I've been learning so much. And when we really look at different cultures and the people who have not been separated from their roots and what they know, what they still know, like that's how we really are going to be able to come into our awakening, is going back to those people who were not cut off from their ancestors, cut off from their stories, the stories that are passed down orally. You can't find everything online. Like a lot of cultures, the things that are held sacred are never going to be online. You have to have a guru or somebody who's going to teach you those things and show you those ways.
And once you start to connect, you realize that everything that's not written, that's not even passed down, is in your DNA. That's why, once certain things start happening, you start changing, you start, evolving and becoming this different person because things unlock. How like people say, don't stress out because you might get sick. Why do they say that? Because we have a lot of sickness already in us and it's dormant. And if you stress, you be like, oh, you might pop something open and then next thing you know, you got this. So it's like the same way with knowledge. Back in the day in the temples, everything wasn't always written down. Some stuff was spoken, some stuff is just in there. That's why when we get sun, the sun penetrates and it does stuff. That's why we eat certain foods, it does stuff, but it makes sense because I guess we knew far and in between, we weren't going to have a lot of people who were, I guess, like original, who were still connected, especially here in the States. Nobody's connected. You got to go somewhere else, where the bush people are still even walking in the regular cities and be like, okay. And then we needed to sit at our grandmama knee, our granddaddy knee, or whatever. And then in religion, like Jehovah's Witnesses, if your grandma and granddaddy wasn't like in there, you weren't like encouraged to go talk to them. So look at what we missed out on. We missed out on like just
we missed out on a lot.
Even if they were if they were in it and you went to talk to them, they only told you about Jehovah's Witness background. They weren't telling you about the worldly family history. So
right.
It was a lose.
You need to know about what your grandmama did. Some of us don't even know our great grandmama first and middle and last name. I mean, it's like so much.
That is true.
Exist, But yeah, so this says.
So I would like to just kind of talk about the fact that we have 4 goddesses here, and I really love to tap into the goddesses that have been forgotten. A lot of times we don't highlight the fact that before colonization, it was a matriarchal society, but the matriarchal society was equal. It wasn't even like the women were in rule of the men. We never wanted that. We always wanted to be an equal, cohesive, playground. We wanted to work. And really, once we get back to that goddess energy and we realize our, the divineness of us, and we get back to our womb circles, our sacred, our sacred circles with all women, like this, this is powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I got the chills. I know. Whoa.
Yes.
Like, whoa. Yeah. And it's just amazing to hear you saying that, because everything y'all have said so far, I have heard it. So it's 100. Y'all are like on point, because how are y'all saying the exact same thing that my spiritual girlfriend said earlier? Spiritual guy I talked to yesterday said. I mean, like, 100. We're in the right place. We're on the right path.
Right.
Like 100.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. All right. So, Keisha, you wanted to talk about becoming who you are.
Yeah, because my journey took me out of a religion and a marriage. So with any marriage, you lose some of who you are. To add to a religion that doesn't want you to be who you are is already just something else. And like, I always thought I was an individual. I've always had a group of friends. I've always kind of had my own mind. And so for me, when I came across some things about my religion, I just really felt like, oh, hold on. And even how I came across them was, I feel like for a reason, because I'm an advocate for children. You know, I love all people overall, but most of the time adults get on my nerves, but children I love. And so, you know, just looking up some information, being the studious Christian I came across some info about how our organization truly affects kids. And I was like, oh, this isn't okay. And coupled with, like what my mom talked about earlier, with my grandfather passing away, I started spending more time with my family, who at that point, neither of my siblings or my mother, none of them were going to the call being witnesses. So seeing how my husband at the time reacted to that, with me being with my family more, it also opened my eyes. So it was all of these things together. And then my son, not wanting him to live the life that not to say that my childhood was horrible, because I had a great childhood thanks to my mother, because it could have been way different. But there were things I had to deal with. I didn't want him to have to deal with. I remember thinking, when I found out that he was gonna be born in the summer, I was happy because he wouldn't have to worry about birthday parties at school, because he'd be out of school. So he wouldn't have to worry about the shame of not having a party, even little things like that. So anyway, when I was really opening my eyes about the religion and thinking about my child and sitting in one of their conventions, and a video came across the screen with, you know, white Jesus and a bow and arrow, I was looking around like, this can't be right. This isn't where I belong. And I politely, slowly made my exit. That right around the time we came and visited you, I hadn't been to a meeting since then. Like, I was on my way out that whole, you know, winter of 2018 to the beginning of 2019. And so when it was time to leave my husband, or actually he was supposed to leave me, he reneged. But I reached out to my mother, like, I gotta get out of here. And within a week, she helped me make it happen. Her and my sister.
I remember that.
And even with that, the morning that we went to go look at places, because my mother found some places online, I'm sitting at the back porch of the house that I just love, because I own that house. I didn't think I was gonna move out. And the cardinal came and visited me. And I'm, you know, at that point, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness no more, but I'm still not really spiritual. So I'm kind of joking, like, Grandpa, you know, just like, that must be Grandpa here to visit me on my day. You know, and I wasn't taking it seriously. But the house we ended up coming to see and moving into had a cardinal on the front porch, like hanging on the wall. And the largest Cardinals baseball mural I've seen in a home ever, painted in their basement on the wall. So it was like, oh, yeah, Grandpa said move into this house. It's time to move. Like, leave this guy and move out. And we signed a lease that day.
Wow.
So then fast forward, I'm living here, living with my sister. I love her, but it's different. You know, I'm used to rigid rules and going to meetings certain days and all these kind of things. But she had
and that is not me at all.
Not at all. Flower child all day. One day she up at 9, and next day she up at 4. I don't even know when. But with her and her spiritual gifts and her friends, she mentioned the shaman in the area she really, you know, really appreciated. And I told myself, okay, I don't know where I am in things, but now I've got a guaranteed sitter. You know, my son goes every weekend. So if one of these events falls on the weekend he's gone, that must mean it's meant for me to go. And it so happened that the event was learning about contacting your ancestors. On the weekend he was going to be gone. Now what I missed about him was that when my grandfather died, my son was 2.5. So he was talking a little bit, but, you know, not really comprehending things. But when he was 3 and 4, he would say things, or he would do things, and I'd be like, you know, watch out for that, don't do that. He'd be like, it's okay. Grandpa told me to be brave. Grandpa told me to be strong. And like at one point I stopped him, because he calls my mom's husband Poppy, and he calls my dad Pawpaw. So I'm like, Poppy? Like, you keep saying Grandpa. And he's like, no, Grandpa. I'm like, Pawpaw? No, Grandpa. So I show him my grandpa, and he's like, yeah. Grandpa told me to be brave and strong. So it's like, okay, my son pulling on some things, because that man was not even coherent last time my son saw him.
Chills.
So yeah, so going back to his ancestor, you know, this this event I went to with Nia, the shaman came, and I'm in the room and I'm feeling warm and tingly, and I'm like, what is going on? I got the heat. What is happening here? But then he says, you know what? Hold on. It's some powerful people in here. It's a lot of people in here that want to talk to y'all. The energy is so high. I need everybody to just sit down and calm down. And he did something, and the whole room cooled down. The tingling stopped. The energy slowed down. I was like, ooh, wait a minute. Like, I'm looking like this is some real stuff.
Because they was like,
So
me
just
first. I got
that
a lot to say, me
experience.
first.
Well, and he told us, he came to us, and Nia and I don't necessarily look like we're sisters, just off of, but he came to us and he was like, yeah, he told us something that's powerful about y'all. I explained about my son, and he was like, y'all need to tap into it, because we were like, we have different fathers. He was like, well, it's your mother. So he was like, you need to tap into it. And it makes sense, because my entire life, even my friends now, I have grown friends who still call her mama. I have friends, when I stood away from the truth, ooh. When I stood away from Jehovah's Witnesses, ooh.
I felt that in my neck. Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
But no, when I stepped away, they stepped away too. I have new friends that I've met because we all have left, that meet my mother and just instantly feel drawn to her. Or that my mother's like, oh, I remember seeing her on Assembly Park one day and never saw them again. Haven't seen them since they were children, but when they see her again, it's like, oh, you're what I've been needing. So it's like this energy had to be already in us through her. And now we just getting to see the manifestation of it. Like even now, decisions I make when I'm like, that don't feel right, and I change course, it's always something that shows me it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
The what you say you make? What did you say? With the what
Decisions?
you make? Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. When I make them, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna do that, and whatever reason I have for it, it turns out better, or whatever I wasn't gonna do falls to the wayside. So it's like the choices I make line up, and the way we were taught, it was supposed to be Jehovah's blessing. But then on the converse side, if you're doing things that you're not supposed to do and you're getting blessed, it's Satan's blessing. So before we were always taught to attribute whatever to some other force. So being able to be like, okay, I put that energy out. I felt what was right for me, and I made the choice that was right for me, and see it work out. It's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different energy into your life. And so writing, I used to write a lot. I realized with my husband, he had to be blocking that. I couldn't write. The other day, I wrote a poem about how marriage is overrated within 5 minutes, just because I don't have that blockage anymore. So I'm really starting to see who I am, and I'm loving it. And the people that I'm coming into contact or attracting, and the experiences I'm drawing, is all falling into place. I'm like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. It's like a big relief. Like
it is.
You didn't even know you was that uptight.
I used to have panic attacks, actually.
Yeah. And
I
it's like,
haven't had panic attacks. I used to drink often. I don't drink. Yeah.
That's like wild. I was listening like, wow. That's like, that's amazing.
And I like what she said too about, because like I'm still want to tap into that. I think like for me, like I'm still at the beginning and still learning, but I really believe that I've always been connected to like the universe. I had the spiritual side, but like I said, with us being conditioned the way we were, I'm trying to undo that, unlearn it, and just be open and to listen to the universe and accept, what it says to me. Like I have gotten signs, which normally before I wouldn't, think about it or, so it's been interesting. Like I pray, just like, the universe guide me, tell me, what I need to be doing, help me with decisions. And I've been getting signs. Like I just went walking and a pelican like landed. I have never seen like this bird before. Like it was just very interesting in that it caught my attention, and I stopped and stared at it for a while. And then I was just telling them one night, I just woke, like it had came back to me so vividly, and I said, what are you trying to tell me? So I just got up and I looked up the bird and found out, and it truly was speaking to me. That's truly like my personality, who I was. And then like sometimes like when I can't sleep and I get these signs like, I don't know if y'all know, but y'all know I can't hear out this one ear, right? And it's like I've been hearing like ringing. But one night I kept hearing this, it was just some different sound. It was like a different sound. And I was just, it stopped and made me pay attention. And so then I looked at the clock. I'm like, so what are you trying to tell me? What I need to look up? So then I just started looking up like the numbers and stuff. So I'm just saying that it has been speaking to me, the universe. I've been, being more aware and paying attention. So yeah, it's interesting, and I'm trying to get where y'all are.
Yeah. When you were
And I
talking
don't know about the
the
ancestors. I'm still. Go ahead.
numerology, that was my first deep depression that I dealt with was when I was well, it actually helped me get out of the Navy, so it was kind of a blessing in a way. But that's when numerology started to speak to me. I was waking up at 1:23 every morning, and every afternoon 1:23 I was looking at the clock. And I didn't know anything about numerology, anything about any of that. And so just like now allowing the numbers to guide me, and whenever I am feeling some type of way of like uncertainty and stuff, like it just seems like I get those numbers. I'll be driving and see 4444, or like it won't even just be the time.
Yeah.
It's just numbers all over that we've never even really noticed before.
Paid attention, yeah.
You weren't given a reason to pay attention. Just like with our signs. We weren't supposed to look into your signs. But when I look up an Aquarian, that's me all day. Like every single time.
Definitely is.
All day. So I was like, this is why they didn't want me to know, because this tells me everything I need to know.
I'm just like outdone. I'm just like staring at the screen with my eyes extra big. Like I can't believe what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. Like,
and
I was always into dreams, wanting to understand what dreams meant. I always felt like, no, you're not just remembering dreams for no reason. So I used to go to dreamdictionary.com. I felt like, okay, the Watchtower doesn't say I can't look at dreams. And really in the Bible, I used to interpret dreams. So, but I always, I felt like there was more to it, and there had to be. And once you actually are able to tap into it and learn, then it's endless. Now you all over the place. Like it's so much to learn. I don't know where to start.
Exactly. That's why, like, when somebody was like, I don't see you on Facebook that much. I'm like, yeah, because I'll be on my other page. Like, that's my life now. That's all I do is think and like be talking about, and I can talk about everything, dreams. I can talk about, a vision. I can talk about some numbers. I can talk about all of that. And it's just so neat how all of us that chosen ones, we all have that same desire, that same knowledge, that same everything, like dreams. I got a little dream series on my Instagram. I be dreaming all the time. When I was going through chemo and radiation, I was dreaming constantly, almost 24/7. And I didn't understand, and when I kind of started getting better, I was like, I gotta stop dreaming. I'm dreaming too much. I made myself quit. So when I got into this, I was like, what was I doing? How did I make myself quit? I didn't get it. But when you're so tired, and then that chemo kills off good and bad cells, brain cells, everything. So when they were growing back, I was in a higher brain function because I would be asleep and I would wake up and be like, that's a good ass dream. And then I was like, I was on stage singing, and so I'll get my phone, I would sing what I sang, and I'd be like, wow, I remembered that. And then I'm like, I think I'm gonna go back and finish. And I would go back to sleep and finish. And then I would wake up and be like, how did I do that? I recorded like 70 hooks during that time. And
when I was in middle school, I had a series that continued on, like a dream series, where my friends would call me next day, like, what happened to dream next? Because it was like a TV show. Because when I went to sleep, it would keep going like a movie. But we don't attribute that to anything. We're just like, oh, that's just something that happens.
Right.
We don't learn to really hit,
I remember.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just remember Keisha, I had this reoccurring dream. And so Keisha was like, well, tell me about it. So I told her about my dream, and she immediately interpreted. And I was like, I wish I would have spoke to her before. This dream was, I was like in a house, and it would be a man tied in the basement with no arms and no legs. So it was like either and it was people coming in to get us. So it's like, do I go try to save him or save myself? And so that would be the reoccurring dream all the time. And so she said, you know, she was like, that's just showing that, what did you say? Like either I have to put myself first or something like that. But anyway, after she explained the dream to me, I no longer had it. And I got out of my situation. I got out of my situation. So it was like either I was supposed to be saving myself or save that man. So it was really telling me that it was time for me to save myself, to take care of myself.
Not that person who
I got out of that situation.
And the thing
He couldn't do nothing for
and so I
himself.
got
He
that
said he had no
situation.
arms and no legs.
Right. He was just changed.
He was going to weigh you down.
It was just a crazy, but once
because how was you gonna get him out? How? You
so
gonna
once I
carry
got out
him?
of that situation,
Both of y'all gonna get caught.
Right. And then, you know, the thing about kids are connected until they're about what, 8 or 9, or, you know, maybe a little later when they get their teenage hormones. And then, you know, from us being like, who you talking to in there? Don't do that.
Exactly.
Don't this, don't that, don't whatever. So it's so good that when your son was like saying, Grandpa, you wasn't like, boy, don't be saying that. You were like, okay, you know, tell me about figuring it out, because that's how it goes. And that's the beauty of the younger generations coming in on no more, the next younger generation coming in more. And so we break those cycles and curses by not stifling our children. You know,
this exhausting though. This new parenting is exhausting. I kind of wish I could just like be quiet because I said so. But instead I gotta explain everything and I gotta hear his side, and sometimes his side makes sense. So I gotta explain why, even though his side makes sense, today we're not gonna do his thing because we're gonna do my I'm tired. But I know it's gonna be beneficial.
Yeah, because it grows. I mean, I listen to stuff that I learned so much from my son, believe it or not. And I've always been like that because I've always looked at him as, you know, he's a child, but he's a person that I love. And I always wanted him to look at me like parents are people too. So I mess up, or I might not do this, you know, so don't hold that. And I'm not going to treat you like that. And so as a result, it made us a good relationship where he would say stuff like, Mom, and I would be like thinking, what? Ugh. But then I would think about it later. You know, I'd be like, he was right. I probably shouldn't be like that. I guess I should, you know. So it creates a whole different time of where we came from. Children should be seen and not heard.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Children get the hot dogs. They don't get the good food. Children get the Kool-Aid. They don't get the good juice. It's like, we ain't doing that.
My son don't know any of those things. He eating crab legs and sushi with the rest.
Right.
Yes. And Starbucks.
Yes. All of it.
Right. Exactly. But what I like about all of this, it kind of goes into my topic a little bit, is what we all have is intuition. And hold on, I looked it up, even though I know what it is, but and I grabbed this, a pelican feather. When I was living on the beach, phenomenal stuff happened all the time. I don't know how, well, I do know how I ended up living on the beach. I was in the apartment, and I was looking outside. I'm like, I can't see the damn stars because there's too many cars out here and too many lights from the apartment. I need to live in a place where it's all sky and maybe some water. Next thing you know, I had an apartment on the beach, and I was like, it's all sky and it's all water. And how did I get here? And I got an apartment, and Then I would see pelicans flying every morning. I was like, oh, I wish I could get a pelican feather. Unbeknownst to me, on my walks, they were falling in front of me. So I got probably like 40 of these. And I was just like, whoa, who even knew? So, and
people be looking at me crazy when I'm picking up feathers on the beach. They be looking at me like I'm so crazy.
I made a video.
I'm like, it's a perfect feather.
That's right. I made a video, and I kid you not, one day on the beach, I found 144 feathers.
Wow.
I know. I was out there. It was a gray day too. And I'm on the edge of the earth out there at the Gulf of Mexico. You can't see nothing. It was gray outside. And I was like, I'm still going outside. And I was like, oh, sun, where you at? Clouds open. There was the sun for a second. It was like, hey, and then it closed back up. So I was just walking and singing. I was like, ooh, a feather. Ooh, another feather. And I was like, ooh, look at this on the rock. And it was just like fast forward. I was like, 144. Look.
Wow.
All
and that's 100. And that number means something.
Wow.
I said, I want to
does.
make an Indian headdress, so y'all got to send me some feathers. And it was just like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. And sometimes I'd be like, I'm not going outside today, but someone would say, no, I'm going on outside. And then phenomenal stuff like that would happen, which leads to this intuition. So hold on. It says intuition, the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. And so to use it in a sentence, we shall allow our intuition to guide us. So we are naturally intuitive, especially us melanin women. We are naturally intuitive. But what were we taught in our religion and our conditioning? Now we saw our mothers and our grandmothers being intuitive because they will always know what to do. If you don't feel good, why you call them? You know, if you need a question or something, or how to cook something, you call them. They just boom, boom, boom off the rip. But it's like we were conditioned because of religion, like, don't think for yourself. And like, no, you know, we gonna tell you.
Right.
And so we will always know the answer.
Yes.
Feel a certain thing like this ain't right, but they be like, yes it is, and you be like, yeah, but no it ain't. And they be like, well, yes it is, and it's like, well, I want to talk about it. Well, you're gonna get in trouble. It's like, oh, it was constant.
Right.
So all we were doing is just like downing our ascension, downing our light,
Shrinking ourselves.
playing small. What you said, playing small, being all this stuff, and the whole time reading the scripture saying, ye are gods. You know, reading that scripture, and it's like even Jesus said it, ye are gods, but we got right. So we wouldn't be thinking, and then like with all the changes that happen within the Bible, you know, and then you know, some of them we kind of knew, but we didn't. But then with other people telling us the interpretations of it, everything we would read, we just took as face value. And a lot of times it meant something else or said something else. So then when you think about, you know, your intuition and just knowing and automatically doing stuff and automatically knowing how to create things, the alchemy and so on and so forth, in the Bible, they said that kind of stuff is bad, you know?
Right, magic.
And they highlighted those scriptures. Don't be into no fortune telling, no divination, no sorcery, no this, no that. One day I was just like, I got to look this up because every time I walk past the little tarot shop, I just be looking and I be thinking, I know that's the devil, but I want to go in there. Right, but it's just something I want to know. I had questions, and when you're in a position where you can't even ask questions about stuff that you naturally know about, some ain't right, and it really makes you, when you jump out of there, it really makes you just go. I was binging all information all the time. I looked up all that stuff. You know, like, what is divination? What does that mean? You know, what is sorcery? What is, you know, fortune telling? But I mean, how many times have you said, nah, if I do this, this gonna happen, that's gonna happen? Because you just know. Because we pay attention to our environment, our surroundings. We pay attention to so much little stuff that we put 2 and 2 and 4 and 6. We put it all together and we're like, you know what? That's gonna be a 9 situation without even saying that. So I'm not doing that.
And then that just be a gut feeling sometimes.
Right. Then we don't do it, and then something pop off. We like, see, I knew I wasn't gonna go. I knew that's why I knew this. That's like fortune telling. When we're like, oh, I don't feel good. Let me go out in the garden and dig up some of this and that and cut it up and put it together and da-da-da. Here, drink this, you feel better. That's sorcery. You went to the source. You went to the source of creation. You got what you needed and you fixed the situation. Like, you know, we did, you know, divination, divine wisdom. That's from the divine. It's like you getting information from the divine. So we sat up there in their meetings and they said, well, we're telling you this is from the divine source. But when it didn't feel right, it's like something ain't right. So now that we're not in there and we get information from the divine source, that's divination. That's the right thing. But they told us all that was bad. And so you never get to understand. So finally, on this, you know, journey, I was like, I'm going to this lady shop. I was like, it's the devil. I'm just gonna say like a protection and whatever. I didn't even really understand protection, but I was like, I'm saying it anyway because this one girl said, you say this and say that, you know. So I went and I just want to talk to you, you know. And so we talked a little bit, and you know, she did like a little 3-card thing, and you know, I was holding back, you know, because I was like, I want to test. And we talked, and when I left, I was like, this is not what I thought.
Right. Yep.
I thought, do you know, they tell us the only instruction manual is the Bible. And it's like, that's a whole damn lie.
It's not right.
Right.
Especially not the Bible that they
Manual.
giving out here in America.
What you say?
Not this version of the Bible.
You know what I mean?
The silver sword.
Right. I realized that the instruction manual is our natal chart. That's our birth chart. It's what's connected in the stars. You know, it's like what?
It's everything
It's
around us. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you know, everything. But I'm saying, like, if you want to get like down to it, you know, you can read your natal chart and understand your life, your past, present, future, and be like, wait a minute, you said the Bible, past, present, future was it? That's something different. That's like it still deals with astrology, but it's something different. So it's like we missed out on so much, you know.
We did. We
were learning people who didn't even know. Sorry. I was saying we was learning people, they didn't even know. Like the whole book of Revelation, if you study that, it's numerology all up and through it. Y'all are practicing it. Every time we talk about the number 12 and the number 7 and all that kind of stuff. But if I go to somebody else and they tell me about it, it's a problem.
Right. So now when I do hear them saying certain stuff and they'll say something like just, you know, Spitfire said, I just be laughing, thinking to myself, you don't even know what you just said.
They
don't even know what you just did. It's like, so before I used to want to like say something. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to ruin it for them. Okay, I got 10 minutes. Okay. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to ruin it for them. I'm not going to do that. Not at all. Because when it's time for them to wake up, if they do, they're going to be like, oh, I see that 44 on that too. It's like, oh, you know, wow. So, you know, when I, you know, started really getting into that and intuition, and then something had me look at somebody's tarot channel, you know, and I was like, God, I shouldn't be looking at this, but I'm going to look anyway. And I looked, I was listening, and I thought, you know what this is? This is just like when I went to therapy. I was like, that's what this is. And I was like, and my last therapist told me, I'm going to be the last therapist you ever see. And I was like, okay. He was right.
Wow.
So since I was like trying to, you know, look and think, and I was like, I'm just going to check. So I got me a deck of cards, just regular playing cards. And I was studying numbers, numerology. I was studying numbers because I was always seeing sets of numbers too, you know. And I was like, let me just research. I researched everything. And when I was researching, I was like, so if this means this, if this means this, this means that. So I did a little bit. But I was like, I'm gonna go buy me a real deck of cards. I went to the store and I was like, oh, I felt like I was doing wrong. I was like, I'm getting a deck. So I got this Egyptian deck and I read all about it. And I got another deck. Now I probably got about 12 decks, right? And this is the thing. So like, just for video sake, because y'all, you know, kind of know what's what, but for video sake. So this is one of my favorite decks, Starseed deck. And when you read the stuff on it, it's like, this is not stuff from the devil. When you think about what you learned at the Kingdom Hall, that's the devil. So like in my reading today, what I got was my first card said lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. And it's like, I have. Now I understand. I have. Then the next
Can I touch on that real quick? How you said like the stuff from the hall, the Jehovah's Witness cult was the devil. The Bible that is, you know, so heavily circulating around these parts is the only text that I know of that talks about the devil's story. So I feel like it is the devil's book. I know that's going
because he has such a huge part in it.
It has such a huge part in it. And I know that really will probably make some Christians mad. But honestly, when you really think about it, there are no other holy texts who give the devil so much attention.
Christians are Christians because they're scared of the devil, not because they're trying to follow Christ. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Well, and like, to be honest, the God of the Bible is the devil.
Yeah.
Because I
The
wouldn't want to
God-
worship them. Like,
the
you really think
God
about
of
it.
the Bible is the devil. That's why he gets all the credit. And so this is one of the main things that I like came to the conclusion. When we used to teach about the devil said that he's going to rise up and be like God, like kind of like sit on his throne, kind of like show himself to be that, be an angel, like do all this stuff. All this time for 20, 30 years, we was waiting for that to happen. But nobody ever thought, well, what if it already happened?
You're right.
What if it already happened and he's the one that's telling us this and he's actually doing this? But then when we used to tell people the whole world is lying, the power of the wicked one, the devil, all the stuff we say, in the end, they're gonna call his name, Jehovah Jesus, Jehovah, and so then you gotta stop and think, what? So what you say? So that's who it is. And Christians can be mad all day long, but sorry, you've been duped.
Read your book.
Exactly. You've been
Because
duped.
most of them ain't even read it.
And it takes a
That's the
special
problem.
person to admit that, yeah, I've been tricked my whole damn life. And I'm just gonna swallow that and go, where do we go from here?
Yes.
Where do we go from here? Because
right.
and you know, most of them narcissist folks, they can't admit that they was that wrong. They brought all their family in there. They told all their friends. They made all their kids go through that bullshit at school, be singled out, you know, be messed up.
Yep.
Like, people can't admit that.
Them decades they didn't speak to their family members, they can't get them back.
Right.
And they still doing it now. So
Isn't it crazy?
They would have to rethink like they're today, you know, and it's like every day you don't rethink it, it's not making it better.
Right.
It's not making it better.
And they're not helping nobody.
Right.
All that it's only hurting people. And the whole colonization period followed the Bible. That is when everything started. And we had peace before that.
And on top of that, not only that, they thought it was a big deal to take this worldwide. So I was like, y'all so proud. We're in 200 countries. We're in 300 countries. Just like, oh my good. When I realized, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. This is like, you just like corrupted the whole world, like on purpose. Like on purpose.
Not even the whole world. It's just the narcissism and the fact that at the end of the day, it's still only 8 million. So if you're claiming that God is only going to save your religion, the number of people is growing way more than the number of your religion is growing. So at this point, God is waiting to kill more people. And you're bragging about this.
Right.
You think you got it right. How?
And then this time I thought about the other day, I don't know what I was watching. And I thought, it's funny how they said in 1975, the world was supposed to end, right? Like for real. And everybody was selling all this stuff. Right? This is the thing. How you didn't realize that the internet still needed to be like started, because none of this stuff could finish up or get where it's going until the internet came and all this social media and all that still had to get going, and it hadn't even started then. So how y'all not smart enough to know that there's still got to be a lot more stuff that happen, including something big as the internet, something big as something, and then. When they said, you know, how we say in the end, new information, you know, new books, you know, new scrolls, new books, whatever. When did that happen? When did y'all see some new books open?
Right.
When did y'all see some new scrolls? You know,
they still ain't even opening up the old ones. They still trying to keep them hidden.
And then who go every Sunday, every week, and study the same
stuff,
different day, the same exact story, the same exact, and then you start thinking, well, this is what I see different in the world compared to this. And it's like, oh no, we're gonna stick with this. And it's like, how do you grow? How do you grow? It's like
they're not growing. They're not growing.
The brothers would give the same talk. You would have one brother who went to every hall to give the same talk. So you knew when you saw him, oh, brother finna give his marriage talk.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get other topics to talk about as the leaders of your congregation.
And anytime they make a correction, anytime they try to bring some new light or whatever, it's always like a oops, we messed up.
They don't say that though. They're not gonna say that. They'll never admit that.
Well, they ain't gonna admit, but that's what it is.
It is.
Don't let us mess up. Don't let us mess up.
Yeah.
And,
don't let it.
The
Right.
thing is that, not only, yes, a lot of ignorant people there, and a lot of people are narcissists, and so they stay in their ignorance. But the thing is, the ones who are above them and lead them, they know.
They
They
know.
know the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
They know who we are. Like us four right here being together is powerful. They don't want that. They didn't want that.
Right.
That's why they're trying to keep us down and keep us quiet.
Mhm.
They know that it was a matriarchal
Right.
system before.
Yes.
They know
Yes.
the
Right.
goddesses. They know the ones who
Mhm.
started this earth. They know all of that. And we were just sitting there just
In our long skirts.
giving them
Right.
energy. Giving them
Right.
our energy. Later. You ain't gotta like share it as you go, You don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's still converting. So let's just like right here, we can just like wrap up. If each person just want to say a couple of lines, and then we'll just go from there. Let me make sure I got this right.
I'll let one of y'all go first. I can follow y'all lead.
Wait, are you recording? You screen recording on here? Or you?
No, but I'm recording it like with this, but it's kind of ghetto, and I gotta like cut this part out.
Y'all do what you gotta do.
You heard me. Y'all know I'm Inspector Gadget. A phone and a phone and a phone. All right, go ahead.
I don't know how to wrap it up. I guess just say, I just really hope that people can learn from our experiences and really learn to step out of their box and embrace who they are at any age. Because I was, mid-30s when I stepped outside the box. We took some of our guidance, or some of our main leadership came from Nia, who, as you mentioned, is the youngest in the group. So don't be afraid to reach out, and don't feel like someone can't lead you because of where they come from.
Exactly.
I think that's only 2 cents.
Well said.
Yeah.
So I kind of wore this shirt for today. It says, "Give this world good energy." And I think anytime you are like questioning your faith or questioning what you are doing inside any religion, or just even the way that you live your life, like just think, is this bringing positivity to the world truly? Is it really bringing good energy to the world? Or are you just, are you oppressing anybody? Like, that should be the main thing. Is anybody being oppressed by my actions? Or is everybody being given good energy? So is this positive? Is this negative? Who am I affecting with my everyday life and actions and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just think if everybody thought like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say too that this has truly been like a great journey, and I just can't wait to see what's all in store, and how I am learning not to shrink myself, because I have done that, and working on me, getting to really know me, and it has been great exploring and doing all that. So I am looking forward to it, and really want to step into my purpose and to be who I truly am. But they say, be the unstoppable me, be the unstoppable dream. I have goals, I have things I always wanted to do, and I had always pushed them down, or didn't follow through. But this is my time. I plan on sticking with it this time, and not shrinking, and not giving into fear of failure, or fear of regret, and all that. So yeah, I need the universe to continue to speak to me.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100. And I feel like, everything happens for a reason. We all met each other for a reason. We are like not just friends and physical friends, but we are soul family. We are soul family. And that goes deep. That goes deep. And it's this is a card that I got in my reading earlier, and it says ancestors. I've never gotten this card. And I've been talking about stuff with my friends. And so ancestors, one of my friends I was talking to earlier was like, I know the ancestors brought us together. And I was like, I know, because my ancestors know your ancestors. And, he was like, I feel like I've been knowing you. I was like, I know, we all get like that. We all know each other. We all are soul family. And so I feel like getting together, having these discussions, spirituality, we used to be taught, You're not spiritual if you don't do this. You're not spiritual if you don't do religious things. Religion and spirituality is two different things. And so now, so now we're coming into it from 30,000 different ways, and we all are trying to get back to the light, because we are light. And so we're just trying to get back to that light, get back to the origin. And so us coming together, being able to talk about our journey and our different ways, it's amazing how the same it is. It's amazing. Like, I'm going to be thinking about this all night because I knew y'all were growing, just like I am. But I didn't know that y'all knew, like, all the stuff you were saying. It's like, oh, I know that too. I mean, that's amazing. That's like, it's just good on my spirit and on my soul right now. So I look forward to doing this, a couple more episodes. And, yep. We're going to get our little commercials on there and add all of our beautiful things that we know how to do. So, yeah, that's episode 3. I'm looking forward to it. Peace, family.
All right.
Rising to the top, we are.